Hi, folks. I'm Chuck Thompson. The opening scenes of our film might well tell the story of the '63 Colts. For beating the Los Angeles Rams on the last day of the season with just seconds remaining on the clock was just another example of the thrilling type of close football played all year long by the kids from 33rd Street. Thrilling football that was made possible by a good mixture of highly trained and seasoned veterans and outstanding rookies who made the starting lineup. Rookies like Bob Vogel of Ohio State, John Mackey of Syracuse, Fred Miller of LSU, Jerry Logan of West Texas State, Willie Richardson of Jackson State. Not quite a rookie, but in his first season as a regular, Jerry Hill of Wyoming. And finally, the 13-year rookie from Notre Dame, who at the ripe age of 39 came in second in the National Football League in total scoring for the Baltimore Colts, Jim Martin. Not enough can be said for the great job that these rookies did during the 1963 season. Others, such as Butch Maples, Gary Coazzo, and Butch Wilson, although having seen limited duty, are counted on highly in the team's plans for 1964. And it must be remembered that not since 1955, when the Colts came up with Alan Amici, George Shaw, L.G. Dupre, George Prees, and Raymond Berry, have rookies made such an indelible mark on the Baltimore Colt football scene. Now, don't get me wrong. The Colts didn't win the title, but they did come in third with a very respectable record of 8 wins and 6 losses, and were in there all the way in every game for rookie coach Don Shula and the fans of Baltimore. Opening day for 1963 was in Memorial Stadium as the Colts met the Eastern Conference champions, the New York Giants, before the largest Colt crowd in history. Some 60,000 roar as New York's Y.A. Tittle fumbles. Gino Marchetti scoops up the loose ball and lugs it into the end zone as Baltimore gets an early 7-0 lead. Another Giant fumble gives the Colts the ball. Johnny Unitas uncorks a 34-yard bomb to Jimmy Orr, and it's the Colts 14, Giants nothing. With the score 14-3 early in the second quarter, Unitas pinpoints rookie John Mackey, who goes in for the score and gives the Colts a 21-3 advantage on his first score as a Colt. The Giants finally start to move. It's down the middle from Tittle to King for a 46-yard touchdown. The score now, the Colts 21, the Giants 10. Later in the second period, it's all the way with Y.A. Tittle pegs a scoring pitch to Joe Walton as the rejuvenated Giants narrow the score to 21-17. Unitas, directing a Baltimore counterattack, goes for the long gainer. Erich Barnes intercepts, but in so doing, interferes with Jimmy Orr. The official rules it's goal to go on the Giants 3. Fullback Jerry Hill takes the handoff and goes in for the score, and the Colts increase their lead 28-17. Near the end of the first half, the Giants are moving. Y.A. Tittle and his former 49er teammate Hugh McElhenney get together to the tune of 7 points. At halftime, the Giants are close at 28-24. New York maintains its momentum in the third quarter. Y.A. Tittle finds his favorite receiver, Del Schaffner. Schaffner jolts the Colts and one of the officials as well as he streaks away on a 43-yard play. With 3 touchdown passes to his credit, Tittle alters the script and darts into the end zone to put New York on top for the first time, 30-28. Late in the game, Alex Webster cracks across with a clincher as the New York Giants roar back to defeat the Baltimore Colts 37-28. The Giants are off and running in defense of their 3rd straight Eastern Conference crown. The following week, the Colts invade Kezar Stadium in quest of their first 1963 victory. It's the Colts on the move in the first quarter. Johnny Unitas draws in the blitzers before flipping to J.W. Lockett. Lockett lopes for 16 yards. Jim Martin, a veteran of 13 seasons, kicks the Colts into the lead with a 34-yard field goal. It's the Colts 3, the 49ers nothing. The 49ers come alive late in the first half. Brody completes to Bernie Casey on the 49ers 29. Casey spins away from Colt defenders and goes in for the score. It's a 44-yard touchdown, and the 49ers take a 7-3 lead at the half. Early in the third quarter, Alex Hawkins keeps the Colts moving with this juggling catch for a 15-yard gain. Unitas takes his time and then spots Jimmy Orr breaking across the middle. With the ball on the 2, Bielski, Parker, and Lockett open the gap for Jerry Hill, who plunges in. It's Baltimore's lead again, 10-7. Jim Martin kicks off to the 49ers' Abe Woodson. Abe streaks away on a 58-yard return to put the 49ers in scoring position on the Colt 25. Brody goes right to work. He fires a pass in the direction of Jim Johnson. Jim makes a leaping grab and falls to the Baltimore 10, where it's goal to go. Bernie Casey dashes straight ahead and then breaks to the outside as Brody rolls out and tosses him the payoff pass. The 49ers take back the lead at 14-10. Before the third period is over, Baltimore is on the move again. Tom Matte weaves his way through the 49ers for 16 yards. The 49ers put the pressure on Unitas, but he manages to get the ball to J.W. Lockett, and the big fullback cruises all the way to the 49er 29 as the third quarter ends. Johnny Unitas and Jimmy Orr are going in opposite directions, but they make a 6-point connection that boosts Baltimore back into the lead, 17-14. The Colts keep the pressure on as Unitas hits rookie Willie Richardson for a good gain. With time running out, the Colts call on their kicking specialist, Jim Martin, who puts them ahead to stay 20-14. In posting the first Colt win of the 1963 season, Johnny Unitas breaks his old Colt record of 43 passes in one game as he completes 23 of 44 and gains 288 yards. The Colts win streak was short-lived as they dropped a close one to the Green Bay Packers in City Stadium, 31-20. The Chicago Bears the following week strutted out their new defense for the Colts, and it looked pretty good as they held the Colts to a Jim Martin field goal and stayed on top in the Western Conference of the NFL. After those ferocious Bears, the next stop for the road-weary Colts was home sweet home and the San Francisco 49ers. Jack Christensen's team was just no match for the Colts as they got back in the win column 20-3. With a 2-3 record, the Colts are at Detroit's Tiger Stadium, where nearly 52,000 fans hit the turnstiles. Earl Morrall has Detroit on the attack in the first quarter. He aims a long pass for Gale Cogdill, who takes it over his shoulder for a 40-yard touchdown. Detroit takes a 7-0 lead. The Colts start a drive of their own on their 25. Tom Matte takes a handoff from Unitas, and with a key block by Alex Sandusky, goes to the Colt 38. Watch with the aid of our stop-motion camera, rookie end Willie Richardson at his aerial best. This spectacular completion is worth 22 yards to Baltimore. Unitas calls for a pass on first down, but it's Tom Matte doing the passing. John Mackey takes it and earns a few extra yards with a good second effort. On fourth down, the Colts call on Jim Martin to kick the first of 4 field goals for the ex-Marine, this one for 17 yards. On the first play after the kickoff, heavy pressure from Miller, Marchetti, and Calvin forces Petrosati to fumble, and Jim Calvin recovers. The first quarter ends before Baltimore can capitalize on the break, but John Unitas opens the second quarter by tossing to J.W. Lockett, who makes a Statue of Liberty catch. The Colts lead 10-7, but the Lions bounce back. Petrosati sprints across to put Detroit back in the lead. Lions 14, Colts 10. Baltimore tries to get that one back, but big Roger Brown deflects a Johnny Unitas pass, and Yale Larry intercepts. Larry races 21 yards to score, and Detroit leads the Colts 21-10 at the half. Field goals number 2 and 3 of the game by Jim Martin in the third quarter put Baltimore 6 points closer, and the Colts are moving in the final quarter as Unitas passes to Jimmy Orr for a 29-yard gain. Stalled by the Detroit defense, the Colts bring in Jim Martin again to try number 4 for the day, this one from 45 yards out. If good, Jim will break a Colt record, and it's good. The Colts are 2 back, 21-19. Morrow is replaced at quarterback by Milt Plum, who is welcomed into the backfield by Ordell Bracey. Milt responds by tossing an interception to Andy Nelson, who scampers in for the score. The 25-21 victory for the Colts features alert defensive play and the great place kicking of Jim Martin. No sooner do the Colts get all even at 3-3 than who's waiting for them at home? Yup, the Packers from Green Bay, who are tied for the lead in the West with the Bears. It's a 3-3 ball game as the Colts try to move in the second period. Herb Adderley intercepts a Johnny Unitas pass to set the Packers up on the Baltimore 20. Jim Taylor, the league's second leading ground gainer, goes up and over the Colts roadblock to put the Packers ahead 10-3. John Roach, filling in for the injured Bart Starr, has the Packers rolling again late in the quarter. John's toss is on target to Marv Fleming, a rookie from Utah, for a 20-yard gain. Baltimore can't stop the Roach to Fleming combination. It clicks again, this time for a touchdown. At halftime, Green Bay leads Baltimore 17-3. The Packers add a field goal before the Colts get going in the third period. Johnny Unitas uncorks a mighty heave that Jimmy Orr grabs for a big 48-yard gain. With a huge crowd screaming for a touchdown, Unitas fakes, pumps, and passes into the end zone, where Lenny Moore makes a spectacular diving catch. The scoreboard now reads Packers 20, Colts 10. Watch in slow motion as the Packers go to the air. Roach aims for Max McGee along the sideline, but alert linebacker Don Shinnick intercepts for Baltimore. Shinnick returns the ball to the Packer 45. Unitas has the Colts on a goalward charge. J.W. Lockett takes a swing pass and follows good blocking by Sandusky and Prees and goes 26 yards to the Packer 20. When the Green Bay defense stiffens, Jim Martin makes good on a 34-yard field goal. Baltimore cuts the Packer lead 20-13. The Colts hit it big the next time they get the ball, and the slow-motion camera is rolling. John Mackey runs under Unitas' long bomb, and the talented rookie takes it in for the touchdown. Baltimore rallies from a 17-point deficit to tie the Packers 20-20. With the score even, the Packers take over on their own 27. A Roach pass intended for Max McGee is intercepted by Jim Welsh, who returns it to the Packer 37. The Packer defense again holds. Jim Martin comes in to kick a field goal for the Colts. The kick is blocked. Martin tries to run it back, but is stopped short of the first down. This block kick proves to be the turning point of the game as the ball goes over to the Packers. And one play is all it takes for Green Bay to recapture the lead as Elijah Pitts breezes by the Colts on a 34-yard touchdown tear. This puts the Packers ahead, and that's the ball game. Jimmy Taylor adds one more touchdown for Green Bay as the Packers make it 2-for-2 over the Colts. George Halas brings his defense-minded Chicago Bears into Baltimore's Memorial Stadium to challenge the aerial attack of Johnny Unitas and the Baltimore Colts. But it's the Colts applying the defensive pressure in the first quarter as Billy Wade calmly lobs the ball to his safety valve, Joe Marconi. Joe takes off down the sideline with John Farrington and Ronnie Bull in front of him. Coney's 63-yard gallop sets up a Chicago threat. Billy Wade takes charge of the final yard, and the Bears are out in front 7-0 after one period. With no more scoring in the second period, Unitas tries to move the Colts in the third quarter, but Joe Fortunato intercepts his pass and returns to the Baltimore 25. Billy Wade flips a short pass to Rick Caceres. The Colts are called for defensive holding, but the Bears' Caceres crosses the goal line, and Chicago leads 14-0. No defense can keep Unitas in check forever. Johnny passes to Jimmy Orr, who battles Benny McRae for the first down in Chicago territory. Lenny Moore, playing at tight halfback, slips through a hole and sprints to the Chicago 30. Unitas hands the ball to Moore again. Lenny comes around the right side for a trip to the end zone. A nice block by Jimmy Orr springs Lenny loose. The Colts have finally solved the Bear defense as they're back in the ballgame 14-7. The Bears haven't had much success with the Colts defense today, but they're moving in the final period. Johnny Morris takes a Billy Wade pass at the Baltimore 10 and is brought down by Jackie Burkett. Again, the Baltimore defense holds, and Roger LeClaire posts 3 points for the Bears with a 12-yard field goal. Chicago defeats Baltimore 17-7 and stays in a two-way tie for first place with Green Bay in the West. This had to be the low point of the season for the Colts. 3 wins, 5 losses, and 6 games still to be played. But the Colts didn't quit. They gelled into a complete offensive and defensive unit, beating the Lions at Memorial Stadium 24-21. And then they headed north of Viking land to play probably the most spectacular game of their 1963 season. The Baltimore Colts, tied with Detroit for third place in the West, come to Metropolitan Stadium to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Unitas moves back into a perfect pocket. There's Mackey at the top of your picture, Vogel, Parker, Szymanski, Prees, and Hill. This is the offensive coach's dream. Keep your eye on John Mackey. Unitas throws. Hits Mackey, who spins away from one defender and completes the perfect play. Baltimore tosses Minnesota's Tarkenton for a safety and then begins another drive with Unitas passing down and out to Raymond Berry at the sideline. Unitas is in top form today. He flips a quick one to Jerry Hill. Hill keeps his balance for a 13-yard gain. Unitas fakes Tom Matty into the center of the line. The Vikings get their man, but Jerry Hill gets the ball and a TD for the Colts. Score, Colts 16, Vikings nothing. The Vikings come back strong in the second period. It's a 16-3 game as Tarkenton gets set to pass. Ball Flatley pulls in the ball for a 54-yard touchdown. The Colts lead is cut to 16-10. By the end of the first half, the Colt lead has been cut 16-13, and on their first play in the third quarter, the Vikings strike like lightning. Fran Tarkenton hurls high and far to Paul Flatley. The Minnesota Flyer has it, but he's nailed by Bobby Boyd after 47 yards. Tarkenton goes for the lead on this play and gets it as he finds Tommy Mason open at the goal line. The 21-yard pass puts Minnesota in front for the first time, 20-16. The Vikings are in possession to open one of the wildest fourth quarters of the season. Tarkenton takes off with the ball and dodges to the Colt 38. He's hemmed in there and flips a lateral to Tommy Mason, who is knocked out of bounds on the Baltimore 30 by Jimmy Welch. A trap play springs Tommy Wilson up the middle, and he scores on a 30-yard touchdown run. The Minnesota lead widens 27-16. The Colts counter by sending Jerry Hill blasting straight ahead as Baltimore drives deep into Minnesota territory. Unitas rolls out to his left with defensive end Jim Marshall in hot pursuit. Johnny just gets the ball away, and Jerry Hill takes it in to make it goal to go. In slow motion, Tom Matty finds daylight on the right side of the Viking line and goes in for the score. Minnesota still leads 27-23 as the Colts close the gap. The Vikings get that one back in a hurry. Tommy Mason goes left, spins off a tackler, and turns on the speed. Mason goes all the way for a 70-yard touchdown, and now it's Vikings 34, Colts 23. With 3:18 left in the game, the Colts' Johnny Unitas is going for the quick score. He waits as Jimmy Orr sprints downfield, then hurls a tremendous 60-yard pass. Orr has it for the touchdown. Baltimore is close again, 34-30. With 17 seconds left, Unitas is playing beat the clock. He sends up a long pass. And Raymond Berry makes another one of his unbelievable catches to put the Colts on the Viking 13. Grab your chairs, here we go. There are now 8 seconds remaining. Unitas stays in the pocket, waits until Jimmy Orr breaks free in the corner. Orr scores the winning touchdown as Baltimore wins with 5 seconds left. And this touchdown for Unitas, his 4th of the game, makes it the 11th time in his illustrious career he has thrown 4 touchdown passes in one game. What a football game. It's got to be the most thrilling game of the year for both clubs. And this is the kind of come-from-behind action that the Baltimore Colt football fans have come to expect from their Colts. And we couldn't let this opportunity get by without pointing out a great passing combination that developed out of this game. In the past, the National Football League has developed some outstanding passing combinations, probably one of the greatest of all time being John Unitas to Raymond Berry. But none of them can compare with... No, I'm not going to tell you. Just watch. It was 4th down with the ball on the 27. Jim Martin back to kick a field goal for the Colts from the Viking 35. The kick is blocked. Who gets it? None other than Bobby Boyd. Where are my downfield receivers, he asked. Ah, there he is on the 25. None other than Sure Fingers Pellington. Bill makes a sensational catch, but all to no avail. The Colts were called back for clipping all the way back in the Viking 48 and then penalized to their own 37. But the real irony of this play happens here. It's now Colt ball, 4th and 46, Gilbert into punt. And where does the ball end up? You guessed it, right back where it started, on the Viking 27. That's this game of football for you. 1 week later, the Colts were on the West Coast for a low-scoring squeaker with the improved Los Angeles Rams. The outcome, much to everybody's surprise, Rams 17, Colts 16. The Colts' road trip ended in Redskin territory in the nation's capital. The Redskins trail 3-0 as Snead completes a second quarter pass to Pat Richter. Richter races for 31 yards before a jarring tackle by Jim Welsh causes a fumble. Teammate Don Bossler picks it off in midair and continues for 10 more yards to the Baltimore 39, where he's brought down by Burkett, Logan, and Deal. Snead dances back and brings this huge throng to its feet as he throws long to Bobby Mitchell. It's a touchdown, and the Redskins assume command 7-3. Later in the period, the Redskins punt. Rookie Jerry Logan takes it inside his own 10 and weaves his way through the Redskins to the Colt 47. Johnny Unitas can't find any receivers, but he does find running room. Unitas breaks loose for 19 yards before Lonnie Sanders trips him on the Redskin 35. The Colts are on the Redskin 30 as Unitas grooves a pass to John Mackey. The rookie end from Syracuse tears away from 2 defenders to score. Baltimore is back in the driver's seat, 10-7. The Colts are striving to gain a firmer hold on 3rd place in the Western Conference. Unitas connects with Tom Matty, whose speed stretches the play for 49 yards. Matty is shoved out of bounds at the Redskin 19. The Colts get in close, and before you can say Raymond Berry, Unitas hits him for a touchdown. Baltimore leads 16-7 at halftime. In the third quarter, the Redskins get inside the 5, and Snead hands off to Dick James. James is on a collision course that terminates in the end zone. The Redskins have sliced the Colt lead to 16-13. The Colts tack on a field goal, and early in the fourth quarter, Unitas hits Tom Matty in the flat. Behind good blocking, Tom goes to the Redskin 38. After a Redskin penalty, Unitas has his team in scoring position, but when he finds no one open, John keeps the ball and sprints to a first down on the Redskin 10. From there, Unitas feeds the football to Jerry Hill, who plows straight up the middle for the touchdown. Baltimore is now on top, 26-13. Unitas lashes out at the Redskins secondary again with a perfect pass to Jimmy Orr at the Redskin 49. Unitas connects once again with number 28. Orr takes off for the corner of the end zone and makes it as the Colts sweep to a 32-13 advantage. The Redskins had one more touchdown in the final period, but the Baltimore Colts stampede to a 36-20 victory over their arch rivals, the Washington Redskins. A big win for the Colts, and the fourth straight year they've beaten the Redskins. In subsequent weeks, the Colts beat the Vikings big, 41-10, and pulled out a squeaker against the Rams, 19-16. Johnny Unitas also set another NFL record in this game as he threw for his 237th completion of the season. This Colt team had gelled offensively and defensively after the Chicago game at Memorial Stadium, and they came on strong to win 5 out of their last 6 games, to end the season with a very respectable record of 8 wins and 6 losses. There were some days the offense outshone the defense, and vice versa. Let's give a look. Baltimore at Green Bay, Marchetti and Boyd at work, proving fumbles don't just happen. Number 40, Earl Groh with the ball. Gino takes a Groh handoff, much to Mr. Groh's surprise. Marchetti flips it to Bobby Boyd, who goes 35 yards for the Colt touchdown. In Chicago, against those ferocious Bears, player coach Marchetti demonstrates the care and treatment of opposing quarterbacks. In the same game, rookie tackle Fred Miller takes a page out of Marchetti's book and blasts through the Bears to make a great one-handed grab of speedy Ron Bull. Bill Pellington and Wendell Harris lend a hand to finish the job. On the next play, Fran Tarkenton of the Vikings fakes a handoff to Tommy Mason. The fake works on everybody but Ordell Bracey. In Baltimore, the defensive backfield is heard from in this play as speedy cornerback Leonard Lyles picks off a Fran Tarkenton pass and carries it on in for the touchdown. Here's Jim Colvin at his defensive best, blasting Tarkenton in the end zone to score 2 points for the Colts. Scoring plays, however, are considered the private property of the offense, as Jerry Hill demonstrates with his fullback draw against the Rams in the Coliseum. Against the Green Bay Packers, Tom Matty proves the point that if at first you don't succeed, try the side door. At Memorial Stadium against the Vikings, Alex Hawkins takes a Fred Cox punt at midfield. And look at the Hawk fly. A Ram short kick gives all-pro guard Jim Parker a rare opportunity to be half-back Parker, and away he goes. Rookie quarterback Gary Quazzo shows he has a few tricks up his sleeve as he fakes and keeps, and with good blocking by Szymanski and Vogel and Sullivan, rolls to the Minnesota 10. John Mackey is considered one of the outstanding rookies of the NFL, and here is why. It is fitting that the last play on this year's highlight film be that of a rookie, for it has been the work of this year's group of rookies, mixed with the experience of the seasoned veterans, that Coach Don Shula has molded into a smooth, functioning football machine, winning 5 out of their last 6 games. A season that saw an inspired Chicago Bear football team, under the leadership of George Halas, go all the way to win the World's Championship of the National Football League. Our hope for the Colts is that the great drive they showed to close out the 1963 season will carry them all the way to the top in 1964.